What has really hurt have been some of these undercover videos, and we could talk a long time about how factual they are and what went into getting them, and how misleading they can be. Bottom line is there are bad actors out there. We know that the things are done that should not be done. What we're trying to do is keep from having the whole industry be indicted by the actions of a few, and that's what groups like HSUS and others would certainly like to do. Mercy for Animals, all these groups, they want to create a perception that all of animal agriculture is guilty of making these mistakes. So how do we address that from the standpoint? And I know you're looking at something I think is very important. When you're not there, when you own a livestock operation and you're not actually physically there, how do you make sure things are done properly while you're gone?
Yeah, I think it's a very frustrating thing for farmers because they do feel like, I can't be there 24/7. And when I talk to farmers, what I try to explain to them is it's important for you to set the tone. You set the example. There's a little saying that there are two ways to spread light. You can be the candle or you can be the mirror that reflects it. And so when you set the tone with your employees, when you set the example and you set the standard, your employees know how to behave. And I think when we make sure to communicate our expectations and how we treat animals and what's acceptable and what's not, if somebody comes onto your farm and tries to do something, like in some of these videos, your employees should know to stand up and say, that's not how we do things here. And I think when we start having those conversations, we'll sort of get ahead of that. I think we just sort of take for granted we shouldn't have to tell somebody, hey, we don't do that on the farm. But we need to be more proactive in the conversation and make sure all of our employees know this is what I expect. And you have to set the example. You really do lead with your actions, and your actions will be reflected in your employees. And so if they understand that's what happens, I think when those people come on the farm and try to stir the pot, I hope that soon they'll find that nothing happens because they are told, not on this farm. In the end, I think we all really want the same thing. We want quality, safe food, and we want animals to be well cared for. And I don't think any of us disagree on any of those points. It's just a matter of how we get that done and setting up the opportunity to learn from each other so that we can get it done in a way that works for everybody. Because the diversity in farms is so great that there is no one way to achieve good welfare. So we have to be adaptable, we have to understand diversity in farming, and we have to be willing to help people learn how to get there.